This is Harry Davies, fighting, joined by Oban Elliott, who is out in California ahead of his UFC debut against Val Woodburn this Saturday, February 17th at UFC 298. Oban, we just mentioned it there. What a lovely backdrop to have for your first UFC debut interview, right?
You're damn right. You're damn right.
So obviously out there in California, it's the first time the UFC have been there in over 2 years. I think the last one was UFC 270 for Ngannou against Gane, if I'm off the top of my head. It's a big card for yourself to debut on. You must be very excited. It's all coming full circle, right?
It's all coming. It's all coming together. Yeah. Crazy card to debut on. You can't. There must be like. My barber told me there's like a list of people who debuted on pay-per-view cards, and it's the cream of the crop, isn't it? So yeah, that's about right. Sounds about right to me.
I remember, yeah, Sean O'Malley when he came off the Contender Series was basically on pay-per-view cards like all the time he was
Yeah,
fighting. And then yourself, you're like you said, you're the big next thing. It's only fitting.
mate. And you know what? I am the big next thing. Fucking right. I'm the best. The next big thing. Like, mate. I have made an entire lifetime of visualizing this happening, and now I'm here. It's. I wasn't one to believe in like things like written in the stars until my life started to unfold the way it did. This is fucking written in the stars, man. Simple as that.
Seventh Welsh UFC fighter, I believe, but the first one competing at 170. It's
Seventh Welsh UFC fighter, but the first Welsh gangster to debut in the UFC. Get it right, Harry.
obviously the likes of your teammate Jack Shaw has been there and done it. What advice have the likes of him and Richard given you going into this big one?
Yeah, they've given me the advice to just do me and enjoy it because they've been with me for my whole career and they've seen me behind the scenes. They know they always knew I was good enough to be here. They always knew I belonged here. Um, I just had to dot the i's and cross the t's on a few little things, and yeah, I'm here now. They're just like almost just patting me on the back, saying, "Well done, pressure's off now. Go and do you. Go and enjoy it." It's the advice off the shores.
I was trying to find out what the average day in the life of Oban Elliott is like, and then I struck upon the fact that you actually work on the railways. Is that still the same going into
Yeah.
this fight? Have you toned that down? What's the sort of average day in the life like, given that?
I've toned it down. Yeah, I don't. I used to be the one going for the shovel and the sledgehammer all the time, but now that's slacked off. I've got big things to be. I've got a duty to look after myself now. But I'm still out there chucking the IVs on, getting getting a little extra cash. I'll probably always do it.
How
Yeah,
hard was that to fit in training? Because I believe you work nights, right?
yeah. It was awful, but it's a necessary evil. You got bills to pay. You got the you got a big mouth to feed, and you got an athletic career to try and pursue. You need the money behind you. So, and I didn't have a a room in my mother's house to live in. Um, I couldn't didn't have much help apart from my sponsors, thank God. So I had to do it. What was I going to sit there and say? Oh, fuck's sake, why can't I? I had to get up and go to work and get the cash and yeah, I'd love to sit there and sleep, but I got to get up and go training then, yeah. So it was just one of them things that I just knew I wouldn't have done it if I didn't know it would pay off the way I knew it would. So um, yeah, it's helped me become who I am today for definite.
What was the sort of schedule like? Because obviously you probably work all night, right? Then you got to go sleep. Then you wake up to train, and by the time you've almost relaxed and finished your training, you got to go back to work again. Was that sort of an accurate description of how the day went?
Spot on, mate. Fucking nightmare. The boys, if it wasn't so busy, they'd let me have a little half hour in the van and then go back to work and then we'd swap like that. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, but it's a good job. I'm tough. I made it look easy.
I was also looking that you had a uni degree in business management. Was that ever something that you considered? Obviously, now what you're doing is very different to that sort of degree that you got. What was the decision to go maybe down the different road, and could you maybe have gone down that path?
So the reason I got a degree in business management is because it's the most generalized degree I could pick, and the reason I picked the degree was so I got a student loan so I could train full time. Then couldn't tell you the first thing about business management. I had people writing my essays for me. So that was just there, just give me a couple of years to try and get a head start. And I turned professional in the third year, so it paid off. And then I knew then after uni I'd have a couple of years where I was going to have to work and pay the bills. I thought I'd be in the UFC a little bit quicker than I got here, but the plan has worked. So, and now here I am in Los Angeles. Look at that backdrop. Do we go over the backdrop? Go see it. The backdrop. Come on. So yeah,
We always hear
just enjoying it.
here in the UK that uni loan is one of the best loans you'll ever get, and you're almost a fool not to take it. But and you clocked onto that, right? It
Lovely,
probably
mate.
helped a lot when even though like you said, not a lot about business management. It probably helped out a lot with other aspects of your life.
Street smart, mate. That's the only way I got. That's the only thing it got for me through my business management degree. Street smarts.
Now we are 6 months on from the Contender Series win. Did you want to debut sooner, or really, like we mentioned, the pay-per-view thing there? Do you not mind, given the magnitude of this event? It's stacked from top to bottom, right?
It's perfect, yeah. So no, I told him I wanted to fight on the John Jones undercard or that December 296 pay per view. There's me. I've not even had a fucking UFC fight, and I'm calling that shot. So you ask for that. This is how I've always worked. So you're asking for a bit more. It's like negotiating, isn't it? You're gonna buy something off someone. You offer them £500, and full well knowing you're probably going to spend 750. But if you offer 750, they're going to make you pay £1,000. You know what I mean? So I was saying, give me a pay per view card, thinking, yeah, they'll shut me on like a nice little fight night there, cool little arena. But no, I asked and I received. So yeah, happy days.
Street smart, right?
Yeah, exactly. Happy days. Street smarts. You got it, man. You got it. And then let that be a lesson for you. If you want to buy something, offer way low, and you'll get the price you want.
Val Woodburn almost got there a step quicker than you because he was supposed to fight a Contender Series. Then he goes in there against Bo Nickel. I believe he used to
Mm.
fight a middleweight. He's a short, stocky guy. What do you make of him
Mm.
as an opponent for going into this one?
I make him an outstanding individual for pursuing a career in mixed martial arts because you've got to be a very tough man to get anywhere in this sport. So I make of him as an outstanding athlete, and we're going to have we're going to do the man dance. So I haven't got a bad word to say about him.
And finally,
Val Woodburn, that is.
like you said, you are the seventh Welsh UFC fighter, but the first Welsh gangster. When is the Welsh gangster going to bring the UFC to Wales? Is that realistic for next year, 2026? What are we thinking?
Very realistic, isn't it? You know what that's like, mate. You know how this is going to go. You know how this journey's going to go. And as I said, if I slip up, I'll make up for it double later on. So no matter what happens, I will be bringing the UFC to the Principality Stadium when it's all said and done. Tom Jones will be stood there with his Botox and his suit singing Delilah, while 80,000 are singing me on the way out. That'll happen. That'll happen.